All right, man, we back. I'm married.
Married to the game.
Airport Richie.
Everywhere you already know.
Man, together we married and married to the game on IG. Find us at married_married to the game. Just like your preschool and kindergarten teacher told you, there's no numbers in there. It's just married to the game, all spelled how it's supposed to be. Anyhow, man, we got an interesting topic, one to hopefully avoid in any situation, relationship, or dating. Our brother down in Atlanta, rest in peace to him and his family. We send our condolences. The rapper Trouble got himself in a situation that he really had no control over. He was staying at a chick's house that he was dealing with or dating, and unfortunately, a scorned jealous ex-boyfriend, broke in, shot, and killed him. So this topic, here on Married and Married to the Game, we don't want to just talk about these topics and things that have happened to people that we all know or that we're familiar with, but we want to learn from it. And that's what Wavy and I are about. We want everyone to take something from it and apply it to their lives, or at least, put it on their mental. Wavy, have you ever been in a situation where you've been with a female and she wasn't upfront with you about her previous relationship? Whether y'all just started dating or, you're on the third date and you feel like you need to know more. Kind of like you always talk about checking the Carfax on a girl. So that's a part of it, asking her these situations. Now, whether she tells you the truth or not, that's on her conscious, but you have to do your due diligence and ask the right questions. So have you ever been in a situation where a female may have left some details in regards to her previous relationship, her ex, and you got in a situation where you were uncomfortable or you found out?
Man, for sure. I think that for a lot of guys that happens, and a lot of females too. And in my particular situation, I was dealing with a shorty, and I'm very open about what I got going on. Right. I'm open about what I got going on because I don't like surprises or drama. So
right.
And I remember her telling me, I remember us hanging around in her crib and her kind of telling me that what would I do if somebody comes knocking on the door? And I was like, what? Right. She was like, yeah, what you gonna do if somebody get the knocking on this door right now? And I'm like, who's coming over here? Right. And she kind of tried to make it into a joke after that. So I put it in the back of my mind that I was like, yo, I don't need to be over here no more because there's something she's not telling me. So right. I kind of went with instincts in that situation. But for a lot of people, as men, we tend to need to be rational. We got to see things in order for it to make sense, and we got to feel things in order, like with our hands, we got to be able to see it, feel it, all that good stuff in order to believe what it is that your intuition is telling you. And we ignore that spiritual side of things. And right. Thankfully, that's one of the situations where I paid attention today, and I was able to, kind of get out of there. But I've never been in a situation where somebody kind of popped up on me or anything like that, kind of like what happened to Trouble. So right. I've never had anything like that, thankfully.
Well,
I'm very cautious.
Well, that's good, and I'm glad you didn't. I'm glad you didn't have to experience that. And right. I think she may have this young lady may have passively was trying to tell you something, but you caught on. So you're a wise man, and shout out to you on that. Sure. It's not your first rodeo, my brother. But as far as my story, we like to apply our own stories to this. I actually been in a situation where I was dating a chick. She was like, send me the text message. I got the Ciroc. It was a Ciroc that I never tasted. She sent me the picture of it. I'm like, okay, let me see what she got going on. So pull up to the crib, you know what I mean? I knew she had kids. I wasn't trying to play stepdaddy. I don't think the kids were there. But, I was like, let me just see what she seemed like. You got to match energy. It's very rare a female just going to say, hey, come drink on me. So I go to her crib. Everything was cool. We had she pulled up. I think I maybe took a sip, started the movie, not even 5 minutes into let me rewind. She took a pic, was taking, I don't know if it was on Snapchat or whatever, but hindsight, I didn't know what was really going on. She took the picture. I didn't think anything of it. My shoe may have been in the picture. 5 minutes later into the movie, someone knocking on the door, 5 minutes in. So I'm like, and it was that aggressive knock. It wasn't like, hey, DoorDash. I don't even think DoorDash was really popping back then. I don't even think they were out. This 5 years ago. Anyhow, Long story short, to get straight to it, it was her baby daddy. And she didn't know how to diffuse the situation. He was the crazy baby daddy. She was very timid. Even her personality, she wasn't a very assertive type of person. But here I am, I'm already at the house. I don't know if this dude gonna break in. I don't know. I mean, good. Thankfully, he wasn't like yelling out, but he kept knocking. Like he was. It went from just 1 or 2 knock to just louder and louder and louder. She proceeds to tell me, no, it gets better. She proceeds to tell me, can you go to the room real quick? Now I feel like a little kid. So I'm in her room hiding, and just to fast forward, everything happened so fast, bro. It just like that. Probably the same thing with Trouble. You know what I mean? He was in the bed laid up. You know what I mean? Probably, swam in something and thought everything was gonna be cool. And unfortunately, man, dude popped up. So I'm in the room, and she tells me, just stay in the room. And it's her place. So she was able to not allow him to come in the door. She kind of like answered the door. I don't know if she had one of them little old school key locks that you can open the door and it's cracked. But I guess he was crazy, but not crazy enough, at least that night. Thank God for grace. But she was able to fend him off and say, hey, you're not welcome. So maybe 5 minutes later, she comes and gets me out of the room. And I don't even think I said anything to her. I just kind of like tripped, because honestly, I didn't know if the dude was hiding in the bushes or not. You know what I mean? Because he crazy enough to come knock on his door like this. So now I'm also thinking about getting in my car. This man can be in the bushes or anything. So proceed. I leave out her door. I ain't say nothing to her, but I'm walking down. I'm like a sniper. I'm like a Navy SEAL now, looking left, right. I don't have no burner on me, no glizzy, no Glock, no nada. So now I'm feeling vulnerable. But it was definitely, as a man, it was definitely a position and a situation that I never want to feel again. That's why I got married. No, but
I think that also, like, for a lot of guys that end up in situations like that, like, they're aware of this of what they're dealing with, unfortunately, and they just think that they tougher than what the situation is. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's where Trouble was at with it. He was aware, or maybe he wasn't aware. I don't know, but he used to talk openly about dealing with people's girls and people's wives and stuff. That was something that he talked about doing or whatever. But at the same time, it's unfortunate. But I think that in any situation, you got to make sure that person you're dealing with, especially as a guy, if you're going over their crib, you got to make sure that person has closed the door behind them. Because any man is dealing with a woman, especially as adults, he's probably paying for that spot, or he probably lived there with her once upon a time, and he probably still paying for it. So he's gonna take it personal upon himself to come check something that's going on in his spot that he's paying for. Ain't no telling what the situation was, but that could be one of the things that happens. But quick story in regards to what we're talking about. Back in my doggish days, I remember dealing with this girl, and I remember she had a dude. Okay. And I remember pulling up to her spot. It struck me how nice the spot was because she was so young. I'm in my mid-20s. She was in her early 20s or whatever. So it struck me to see how nice the spot was. So off top, I knew that wasn't her spot. I was like, this got to be her dude spot. So I'm in there chilling. I'm kicking it. I'm minding my business. We go upstairs. We handle the biz. I remember, in the middle of me knocking at the phone ring, and she look at it, and I look at it too. But I'm still knocking or whatever. But I'm looking right at the phone, and I see that it's her boyfriend calling. I don't remember if it said baby or something, but it was something that I knew it was him calling. Long story short. So she ignored the first call, and I'm peeping game. And I'm just like, you know what? This motherfucker here is a dog, I'm like, yo, I'm about to have a fucked up toxic moment real quick. So the moment he called, the next time he called, she didn't even notice it. I answered that motherfucker. I answer it, bro. I answer it, and I put the phone right underneath her while I'm knocking her by, and I'm just sitting there hitting it. And
that was crazy.
And the whole time, I guess she finally caught on to it or whatever, and she looked at the phone, and she, oh my God, and I was like, yo, you didn't tell me your dude was up, She's like, oh my God, why'd you do that? I got up out of there real quick, though. I was out, but it was like, don't put me in that situation like that. Long story short, that was like my way of like teaching her a lesson, I guess. But I had to let whoever he was, hey, that was a hard way to find out, but he had to find out.
Wow, you a cold piece of work, man. I know that's
I don't know if you got to delete this or whatever, but
hey, you know? But you a better man today. You wouldn't do nothing like that.
Yeah, I'm a way better man today.
Yeah, while we on story time, real quick, it's not even a story. Another one of my big homies, I'm not gonna say his name, but he told me he's been in a similar situation where a dude, you know, a scorned, a jealous ex, and it wasn't his crib. He just didn't want to see her with someone else. Came back and started shooting up the place. Thank God, you know, no one was hurt. But regardless, you know, touching back on the trouble situation, because that's a sensitive topic, I believe that was her apartment. Some men are just, you know,
that was her apartment.
Crazy. I mean, both women too. But my biggest thing, what we can learn from this, and we'll you know, our closing remarks. My biggest thing is find out, get your Carfax straight, especially when you're dealing with someone that could be the nicest person, but have had the ugliest person in their past, and you know, got up out of that situation. And you don't want to be on the receiving end of whatever that person that's scorned is trying to dish out, because some people will throw away their lives just to make sure that they don't see you happy. And that's crazy. That's just a lot of crazy people. So make sure you figure out, like, if you're dealing with somebody and you see the signs, like, man, somebody keep blowing up her phone and you like the girl, like, yo, what's going on? You got this crazy, I mean, baby daddy, well, if not a baby daddy, but is it a crazy guy you involved with? I need to know. That way, when you show up every day, I'm not coming alone. I'm bringing the glizzy with me. Period.
Yeah. I have a better one for you.
Until y'all move out of state or something, if you really like her.
I have a better pointer for you to avoid that whole situation. Just don't go over her crib. Tell her to come over your crib. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm big on. I'm not big at going to shorty's cribs at all. Like, I don't go to that
for sure. 100.
My crib, like,
1,000%.
You know, I got the hookah lounge going. I got the, you know, whatever vibes you want. We good.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, you know, I don't know what you got going on over there. And you know, this trouble situation is, I think every person in particular that's out here, you know, living that type of movement like that, is, you know, dealing with multiple people or dealing with somebody that's dealing with multiple people, or you just out here, period, mingling. You got to be aware of that situation, and that speaks volume to everybody. That should be alarming to everybody. So move different, you know. Be cautious. You're gonna do your dirt. One thing that my mom used to always tell me was, if you're gonna do your dirt, make sure you know how to do it. She used to always tell me that. As crazy as that sounds, like, you're gonna do some dirt, do it, but make sure you know how to do it. Like, you know, cover your tracks.
Yeah, that's cover your tracks. But you know, some people are careless, and some girls, they think it's a game. I know some girls, and I'm saying girls, as I'm a guy, so I can only speak on the behalf of men, but there's also dog men out there too. This is like a Biggs and R. Kelly situation. But what I'm trying to say is, some females, I've been to see some females where they're bold, bro. Like they're not even trying to cover their tracks. Like, they don't care if that guy gets upset and comes over here. And some girls love the drama. They want to see two men fight over them. And guess what? I'm just not a part of that game. I ain't never been one of them guys to be a part of that game. You know what I'm saying? So
that's the quickest way to lose your life.
Exactly. So my point is, at all costs, avoid. If you see the signs, whether you dating them for the first, second, third, fourth date, or 2, 3, 4, 5 months in, you know what I mean? You got to get the truth out of people. And that's really, the truth is the foundation of any relationship, any friendship, or, you know, person that you know you want to maybe spend your life with. But other than that, Wavy, I think we pretty much you know, knocked it out in like the 6th round, man. That was pretty good. What you got any other closing remarks? But like you said, I like what you're saying.
Closing remarks, man. Like I like to say all the time, man. Check the Carfax. Check the Carfax. Be rational. Do you want to deal with this person? Do you understand what dealing with this person brings? I've dated girls that I didn't want to date because I knew their baby daddies was crazy. I ain't gonna stunt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, nah, sure, I can't mess with you. Like, I know about you, dude. Like, I'm chilling on you. Like, that's a whole lot of baggage that comes with it. And unfortunately, a lot of men feel entitled to control the narrative when it comes to their, you know, the baby mothers or the ex-girlfriends. Unfortunately, it's just the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to be, you want to look at things in a good way, but you got to be realistic nowadays. And, you know, it's a lot of control factors out here and a lot of toxic just behaviors, period. So just be cautious, long story short.
100%. Well, I have nothing else to add to that, man. I think you covered it. You knocked it out the park. Anybody watching this video, for sure, got some game. We don't
Tell everybody what you got on real quick. Tell everybody how you got on, what a fine did with you know, talk
about. This is Wavy, baby. exclusive Wavy Baby apparel. My brother, this is his line. This is he sweat, blood, sweat, and tears in his line. And
you know,
if you fly, year round, not just in the summertime. I know we right. Fly year round. Get you some wavybabyapparel.com. Wavy is WAVII, 2 I's. Baby is BABII. So 2 I's on the wavies and the baby apparel.com. I don't have much to say, but to say, hey, we don't make the rules, we just explain them. All right, we out. Love.
Deuces.